Fear is the enemy.
Bag City Music Box.
Whatever it is that you're going for, man, go hard. Hold on, never give up. You gotta have that mentality, man. I put in the work, I spent a lot of time on the waiting list. Never complained, I ain't never said shit. Shoot my shot, no fear if I miss. Imagine you chasing a dream that you love, only to find out it wasn't enough. You fall on your face, but you get right back up. And you fall back again, but you get right back up, yeah. That's the way that it's always been. Don't nobody care about the grind but you. Nobody putting in the time but you. Make up your mind who you wanna be. I know who I am, know what I want. Live by 2 words, mama mentality. And that's word to my mom, word to my pops, word to my little bro. They said make your mistakes, but don't make excuses on why you can't live and learn. On a couple occasions I damn near went broke. I'm chasing this music thing, and I ran out of hope. I threw in the towel, said fuck the hole in the street. I kept on writing and touring. I picked up a job cause I knew it was important. The money I made, I would stash it away just to fund my recordings. And I didn't wanna stop cause I didn't know how. I would lay in my room by myself late at night and I finally figured it out. I just wanna be the best version of me, make all the music that I wanna make. I don't care what nobody gon' say. You miss all of the shots you don't take. And the answer is no, if you don't ask. If it gets hard, this too shall pass. God is my witness and he got the plan. He got the plan. I put in the work, I spent a lot of time on the waiting list. Never complained, I ain't never said shit. Shoot my shot, no fear if I miss. Imagine you chasing a dream that you love, only to find out it wasn't enough. You fall on your face, but you get right back up. And you fall back again, but you get right back up, yeah. That's the way that it's always been. Don't nobody care about the grind but you. Nobody putting in the time but you. Make up your mind who you wanna be. I know who I am, know what I want. Live by 2 words, mama mentality. Yeah. Remember, man, you only in competition with yourself. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the process. Pleasure and pain. R.I.P. the greatest. 0824.
Good morning, afternoon, evening to everyone out there in the world today. It is another version of Circle Talk. We are continuing on the 23 days until Christmas marathon. And today I have a very special guest in the building. I'm really excited to talk with this young lady. We go way, way back. Shout out to concert choir and all the good times at Stadium High School. We're going to take a trip back in the past and talk about Memoirs of a Choir Tour. And yeah, it'll be a good conversation for sure. Miss Jessica Fahey Fierst is in the building. So make sure you guys share this out. Make sure you let your friends know. It's going to be a great one today. First off, let's give a huge shout out to our sponsors, iShotcha.com. If you guys are looking for someone to get your pictures done locally and get them done right. Obviously, you see these pictures right behind me. My good friend Marvin Patterson took all the photos in this house practically. And I always recommend him because he will meet you wherever you want him to go. He'll get you done at a reasonable price. I promise you, all you got to do is let him know I sent you and you are good to go. Icon ENT, shout out to my guy Junior Thomas for his continued excellence. And the party bus extravaganza. If you are trying to go to an event like a concert or a game and you don't want to drive yourself, all you got to do is hit up Junior Thomas. He will get you there in style. All you got to do is just let him know I sent you. I promise you. He'll give you a little discount. These are all my friends. I got the ends. Just let him know. Next, we're going to go ahead and send you over to the Chaya movement. My good friend Zakia is working on turning rags into riches. She's asking anyone that has any clothes that they don't necessarily need to hit her up, and she will come and pick those clothes up, and she will turn those rags into someone else's riches. And if you want to know anything about where she's at or what event she's going to be working on moving forward, hit up the choirmates.com or chiafashion.com to find out where she's going to be at. Thank you again. Last but not least, the Intentions Juice and Smoothies Bar. Thank you so much, Marquita Evans, for always being a great supporter of Circle Talk. For anyone that loves poetry, we have the 1 year anniversary of the Poetry Intentions circle going down on Wednesday. Please make sure you guys come through because there'll be food, refreshments, and I will be doing an interview with the people that created it. So it's going to be an amazing event. Wednesday, 7 p.m. at Intentions Juice and Smoothie Bar on 53rd and South Tacoma Way. Come through, check it out. So without further ado, I'm not going to keep her waiting any longer. I just said a whole mouthful, and so I'm ready to release and relinquish the talking to someone else. So I'm gonna bring in Jessica and have a conversation with her. So let's get it. All right, we made it.
Yeah, we made it.
Here. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I was taking notes about your sponsors because I have thought about a party bus and I have a ton of clothes I could give to your friends. So
Absolutely.
I'm like, I've already got value from this day. We haven't even started.
I have a lot of great friends. So if you ever need anything, you can
that.
always hit me up. You know, I stay connected with my community. So, but what about you? I mean, it's been a long while. How long has it been since we talked? Maybe.
Well, I was trying to remember, were you at the funeral for Mr. Bowman's wife?
Yes.
I think that was the last time I remember seeing you.
Absolutely. It's been, what, probably 6 months, 5, 6 months, something like that. It was a while ago, wasn't it?
It might have been close to a year. I thought it was kind of like a cold, wintry, maybe a year.
Maybe. But, yeah, that's crazy. Somber, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Brumman. If he comes on and says hello, he usually peeks in and says hi to me every once in a while.
Well, we couldn't talk about choir without talking about him.
You can't really go into anything about choir without talking about the men that put that thing together. And so why don't we just go ahead and start our time in choir class? I mean, talk a little about you know, the environment, the people, and the man that kind of orchestrated this whole thing together.
Yeah, choir was fun. I mean, it was a blast, right? It's like the one class you don't have to study for.
Yeah.
You just show up, and if you're having a bad day, it's okay. Like there was just a lot of grace in that class where however you showed up, it was fine. And I appreciated that a lot. And I think the other thing I loved so much about choir is that it was such a cross section of people, right? You've got all different ages. You've got, I mean, I had some people that were choir mates that I probably didn't have in another class for the whole 4 years I was at Stadium. So it was really, I think, a great chance to just kind of meet and really connect with other people.
Yeah, it was what I consider very diverse. Mm-hmm. I mean, because when I think about, you know, all of the people that were in that class, you know, it didn't matter what they looked like. Everybody was there for, you know, pretty much the same reason, to make beautiful music together. And the amount of respect, it seemed like, I don't remember ever seeing, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't remember ever seeing anyone get into an altercation or any type of like spats the whole time I was in choir. And I was in, I was a super senior.
You were like all the choirs all the time.
All the choirs. I was all the choirs all the time. But you know, when I rewind back to those days, and I mean, I don't necessarily remember. There was a year, my sophomore year, which was, what year did you graduate?
96.
96. Okay, so I graduated 96 as well. But I was supposed to graduate in 95. So
Okay, I was thinking about it. I thought you were
yeah,
95.
yeah.
So you're kind of like a 95 and a halfer.
Yeah, I'm kind of, everywhere, with it.
Good.
uh, but I don't know if you even knew this, but there was I talk a lot about this when I go back to choir tour days and choir days. And when I was a sophomore, I dated a senior. And so I also dealt with a lot of things outside of school that, really had a huge effect on everything I did. But because I was dating this senior and I wasn't necessarily living at home, I lived the senior life. I didn't have nobody to kind of tell me, yo, you need to go to school and get your grades. And so for a full year, all I did was go to concert choir and swing choir, second period and sixth period, second period, sixth period, second period, sixth period for a whole year. And eventually I ended up getting held back. They sent me this paper and they said, you have to repeat that grade. And I think for me, that was kind of a reality check. And for me, I think at that time, I think we had this choir unlike any other. It seemed like um, some of the best singers that I've ever sang with were in this choir. Right? Like talk about just like you was a soprano.
I was an alto.
He was an alto?
Yeah.
Okay. So talk about like some of the people, like for example, like I remember it was always Gloria was always an amazing singer. Gabe
Mhm.
was like the best singer in the world. And then it was like
Oh, you
Mark.
had yourself some solos too. Don't sell yourself
I mean,
short.
I only had a couple here and there, but I I always looked up to these people. Was there anyone that you can think of that you would say while you were in choir that you totally was like, man, I totally love that person. I totally need to follow them and listen to them closely. Is there
Oh,
anyone that you can think of?
I just always remember having so much respect for anybody that would sing a solo because
Yeah.
I loved choir and I loved getting up there.
Mhm.
But if anyone had ever asked me to do a solo, I did not do a solo the whole time. I would
Yeah.
have been terrified. I probably would have quit and like ran and hid in my locker. Like I would have like
Right.
it was not. So I just anybody who just had that like stage presence
Yeah.
that I just didn't feel, right? Like I was
Right.
confident in other areas, but I did not want to sing in front of people by myself. So I just always looked up to people who just had the guts to do that.
Yeah, yeah, that was always one of my things is like I really didn't do a whole lot of solos my first year in, because they always called me the hoo-ya guy. We sing this hoo-ya, 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 yeah song and I was like the loudest. And so this song pretty much catapulted me into concert choir. And so after that, then they was like, yo, you try this solo? Can you try this solo? And they was like, okay, you can sing it. So, okay, we're going to have you sing that song. I was
That's
like,
awesome.
okay, whatever. I never really signed up for very many until Gabe came, and then I wanted to sign up for everything because I wanted to compete against him all the time. But
Yeah.
let's talk about Mr. Brumman. Like,
Oh, yeah.
just can you just talk about how amazing of a person he was, to everyone else, just
Yeah.
like the man that we know.
Yeah, he really is a special person. I think that he had this really amazing ability to just connect with people
Mhm.
of all walks, from all ages, of all, like he just had this ability to connect. I remember he always opened his room for lunch.
Yeah,
So if you were the kind of kid who couldn't find your table at the lunch in the lunchroom, like it was always a safe space. Like his office, his room was always a safe space. And I really relied on that a lot because I didn't feel like I fit in with a lot of different groups in high school. Like I had a lot of friends and I have a lot of good memories, but
yeah,
never quite, like I was the kid who walked into the lunchroom with the pit in my stomach, like, where am I going to sit? Who am I going to find to be friends with today?
Right.
And his room was just always open, and you always knew there's no drama. Well, there was a lot of drama. I mean, let's be honest, there was a lot of drama, but it was good drama. It was fun drama.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I loved how, I mean, I think most teachers close their doors and they take that lunch break to just get away from all of us. Who wouldn't want that for, a nice half hour? But he opened up his room, and I remember he and I always connected on fishing, because fishing is one of my very favorite things to do. And he loved fishing too. And part of me was like, I love my parents, but if Mr. Brumman could adopt me for just like fishing season, I would totally love that.
Yeah, right.
We always connected on that. And I feel like he always found things to connect with other people on too. He just was a real easygoing guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I didn't appreciate a lot of his wisdom until later. I think that at the time I just was like, who is this guy going off on a rant talking about this crazy thing? And John Philip Sousa, I mean, like all the merches, but then you kind of realize the wisdom of it later. And I think he was planting seeds that still continue to bloom, which is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. That's he'll always go down as one of the unfunniest funny guys that I know. He had a joke for everything, and he always thought
it was usually bad. I mean, it was. If we're being honest, he was like the king of dad jokes, right? Yeah, like we were all groaning and kind of appreciating him at the same time.
Right. We're like, what? Okay, okay, we get it. Okay, let's get back to singing. Doing what you do best. Like, but this is I don't know, like, let's talk about the year of choir tour to New York City, DC, all of this stuff. I'm just setting the stage. Okay. We find out that we get this amazing opportunity to go and sing at the Lincoln Memorial, Washington Memorial. Where was
we sang all over the place.
Yeah, we sang at so many places.
Yeah, we sang at the Kennedy Center too. The Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. We were walking through it, and I remember him just lining us up and blowing that pitch pipe, and away we went. I mean, it was all over. Yeah, we sang a lot.
Yes. Remember him telling us about this opportunity, and us just sitting in class, and he's kind of explaining to us that what is going to happen is, in order for us to be able to make this happen, we have to raise, I think it was like $1,600 a piece in order to go on this trip. And for me, I'm on one side, obviously, with the basses and baritones, and then the ladies are in their section, and we're all just, excited about it. But at the same time, it's like, some of us are nervous, and, for me personally, I just blocked it all out, because, I had things happening in my life at that time where I knew there was no way I was going to get this money, and, fundraisers, whatever I could do, I just knew I was never going to be a part of any of it. So I didn't even think about it. I just knew, it wasn't going to happen for me. And I don't know. I was like trying to think.
But it did happen for you. How'd you get there?
I really had no idea how I got there for the longest time. But one day, it was getting really close to, time for it to happen and everything. And someone told me that I was going. And let's talk about it. Like, what happened? Like, how did it happen? I don't know. But, I'm a firm believer that, everything in life happens for a reason. And, God works in mysterious ways, and I was blessed with the opportunity to um, go and hang out with my friends and bandmates and have an experience that I'll never ever forget. But I wanted to have you come on and just first off, just um, just thank you, because I'm sure at some point, man, at some point, um, you've seen something in me, and um, not a lot of people um, really gave me a chance. I didn't give myself a chance either, and I say that um, that changed my life, because I really didn't have much going for me at that time. I was obviously um, dealing with a broken home and a father that was abusive and tried to kill me. And a lot of people didn't really know I was, bouncing from place to place at that time in my life. And so um, I just really want to thank you for
Mhm.
just, thinking about me and making it possible. Because I don't know where I would have been if I didn't go.
Mm.
I have no clue.
Yeah. That's an amazing story, David. I had no idea that that was what you were going through at the time, which I
Oh,
think is a huge testament to you that you showed up every day and just kind of put that stuff aside. You bring it with you and you set it next to you and you show up. And I had no idea that's what you were going through at the time.
yeah, yeah. It was childhood. I mean, and I lived with a lot of smiles, but behind all of those smiles, it was a lot of um, scared moments,
Yeah.
worried if I was going to make it to the next day. And there was a few times where I slept at school, and
Mhm.
and nobody knew, in the gym of all places, and you know floor mats, wrestling mats. Like, I still remember them like it was yesterday, because I didn't have anywhere to go, and a lot of people didn't see it, but like I uh, I do appreciate it, and you know I always knew that one day I was gonna, just have this opportunity to just thank you, and I just wanted to ask, what made you even think about me at that time when nobody else really was?
Well, when I think back and like the thing I remember most about you, David, was your smile. You had a smile 24/7. And I can't remember a single negative attitude. Like you had just so much positivity and so much light shining in you. And like that to me is so extra special now, knowing that light was not being pumped into you at home, right? Like that joy and that life and that light came from somewhere else. And that's, I mean, it's there and that's the important part, right? But like to
Mhm.
just know now how hard things were for you and how you still showed up every day with a smile and positivity. I think that that's just like that's my, you know, dying memory of you. Like that's what's going to always stick with me.
Yeah,
And it's hard to be around people who are so positive and not be in a good mood also, right? So who doesn't want that? It's contagious.
yeah,
And I just think that that was so special.
yeah. I think one of the biggest things that had kept me smiling is just the amazing relationships that I made in that environment. I mean, obviously, everyone loved everyone,
Mhm. So
regardless of everything that happened outside of that room. I think like I said before, I don't remember a whole lot of fights. I mean, people argued. Yeah, I mean,
I remember girl drama. There was always a little bit of girl drama about the boys, and there was always a little bit of that drama.
Little bit of that, yeah.
But it never lasted, right? Like it was like next week, next week you knew everyone was going to be fine.
Yeah, but the time, that I spent in that room, it always, anytime I walk through that door, and this is, I don't, you probably felt the same way, but I just felt, like I was at home. Like
Mhm.
I didn't really have a home, but anytime I walk up in there, I was at home. And Mr. Brumman was, weird as it may sound, he was my dad. he was he was my pops. He took real good care of me, and everyone else did as well. Like I don't remember anyone that ever said anything to upset me. Everybody was so loving, and I didn't understand it because of the things that I was dealing with in my life.
Yeah.
My my day to day.
It probably gave you a real like sense of belief that you can show up in places and be safe and be loved, and it can be
Absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. It was beautiful. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I just really wanted to share that moment. Can you talk to the people a little bit about the experience that we had when we went on choir tour? Uh, Let's let's get
Yeah,
into
I
that.
know. I was okay. So first of all, I'm going to preface this by saying that, David, I've got the world's worst memory. Like I don't know. My good memory. But like, I mean, there's like bits and pieces that I remember. And I think one thing I know about the trip is that I didn't appreciate it as much as I would now. I
Yeah,
didn't appreciate all the history. I didn't appreciate all the monuments. I was like, it's hot. Can we get
yeah.
inside? Like, can we not see another statue of
It was
somebody
pretty hot.
something about something somewhere?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, I remember, we were so excited to go see what kind of shopping malls they had, what kind of shopping centers, and what did the food court look like at the shopping center, and did
Right.
they have a Gap? I mean, it was kind of like, is the Gap in Washington D.C. going to be different than the Gap in Tacoma? So
Yeah.
it was kind of like, I remember some kind of stupid, silly stuff, but
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the war memorials for sure, the Vietnam Memorial and
Yeah.
the walls. And I think I remember that too, because my parents were on the trip, and those were their friends. Those were their family members. Those were their peers,
Yeah.
and so to see them kind of have an emotional moment about it kind of hit me, which was kind of special. And then I just remember, like, I couldn't even tell you 20 times Mr. Brumman just would blow that pitch pipe, and we'd like line up in our quick little half circle, and all of a sudden we're singing. And anywhere, everywhere, to
Yeah.
anyone that would listen. I mean,
Right.
it was kind of, all of that I think was so cool, because what it really did at the end of the day is it built all those memories of all those places that we got to sing, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I still because Mrs. Gatewood, she made us all CDs. I still have the CDs from
Oh,
back when she made them. Yeah, she sent them to me.
Vicky, she's so sweet.
Yeah, rest her
Rest
soul.
in peace. I know.
Yeah, we lost some good ones,
Yeah.
but we had for me, I still remember one of my favorite memories is always going to be going to see Phantom of the Opera and seeing like all these people crying from it. Like I was like, it was cool, but I'm not gonna cry.
Mark, you guys are crying.
That's crying. That's weird.
Yeah.
you know?
I think that speaks though to just the power of music, right? To move
Yeah.
people to tears, for it to be so powerful and moving that you've got people bawling their eyes out.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you. What have you been doing with yourself after? What did you end up doing after high school?
Well, after high school, I went on to college, and I did my first 2 years up at Western and finished up at UW. Go Huskies.
Hey.
Pretty excited about those Huskies right now. And then I took a few years off from school. I always wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be pre-med, but it just felt really intense, and I needed a bit of a break. So I worked in a lab and did some DNA sequencing, and that was really fun. Moved to Iowa for a couple years, moved back, and I ended up deciding the route for me was to be a nurse practitioner. So I went back and got my master's in nursing, and I'm a nurse practitioner now.
Nice.
And I get to do it part-time, which is awesome because it lets me be, present for my kiddos a lot. They're still little, like my littlest one just turned 7 and my oldest is almost 9. So, they're just in the thick of it right now. So I get to work part-time. I get to be with them a lot. And, I've got an awesome husband who is also a Husky fan. We were both there at the same time, actually. But, with us and like 40,000 other people. So we never met. We didn't meet in college. But right now I'm actually working in mental health. So I get to see people for depression and anxiety and some bipolar and ADHD. And I really like it. I never would have thought I'd end up in mental health, but I think the ability to just sit with people when they're in some of the toughest times of their life is pretty amazing. I mean, I'm just honored that my patients let me in to these really hard things, and that I get to hopefully be a part of the solution for them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. I love mental health myself, and I'm really been, working on it more the past 2 years more than anything because, I'm starting to kind of see the signs that, my mental health's getting a little, off kilter a little bit, and so I've really been focusing every month. My first Monday of every month, I've been doing a mental health check. And we've just been focusing our attention on whatever the subject is for the month, and we've been having conversations about that. So
I love that.
it's been an interesting journey, and I've enjoyed you just learning more about myself and ways that I can kind of battle those moments of darkness and confusion, and I realized that there was also people that I can talk to, because I've been very kind of in within myself, and sometimes afraid to share those moments and thinking that somebody may laugh at me or think less of me, but that's not the case. There are actually people out there that truly care and will be there for you, like yourself, if you really truly need someone to confide in. And so yeah, absolutely, I love having the conversations, and because I talk to a lot of people, and it gives me an opportunity to work on myself as they're working on themselves, you know what I mean? So it's been great. It's been a great thing. So let's talk about, because I'm really big on service. I do a lot of things in the community. Obviously, I stay just active because it's necessary. But how important is service to you? Like, because you're already in the field where you're serving people, but how important is it outside of our 9 to 5s to be of service to others?
Oh, I think it's so important. And I think I just don't think we can go through this world without connection. And I think a lot of us don't get that in our 9 to 5s. I'm not like hanging out with my patients after work, right? Totally unethical. Like that's not where it's at. But like, I think that service at the root of service for me is connection and just being able to see a need and meet a need. And I wish that I had, I guess, when you started talking about service, I was like sweating a little bit. I was like, oh gosh, I don't have a good thing. Like I'm not volunteering with these people or those people.
It's
no, but like I was thinking about it though. And like service for me is just being open. It's having an open heart. And if I hear of a family at my kid's school that's going through a rough time, I'm just going to reach out and be like, hey, can I bring you a meal? My kids do service projects at their school. And so, we're constantly like getting this for the food bank or bringing clothes for this or that, or like anywhere that we can do that. And I love the places that I can be of service and involve my kids, because I feel like that really teaches them. We don't just live in our bubble. We don't just live in our like little isolated bubble. We got to connect. We got to see what's going on in the community. And like one of the most beautiful things for me is when, we'll have like some leftovers after dinner. And if we're driving and my kids see someone on the street, they're like, Mom, I want to give them my leftovers. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So just that chance to like live with eyes that are open and a heart that's open, and just service for me is just about connection, honestly.
Absolutely. That's an amazing answer. That's the right answer. I mean, there's no wrong answer actually, but that's an amazing answer, because yes, the opportunity to not only serve people, but actually do it with your children so that they could see exactly what it is. Oh, well, mom is giving someone that they don't that we don't know um some canned goods or leftovers. Maybe I could do that.
Oh, are you there, David? I think we might be frozen. Okay, well, for anyone who's watching, I'm not sure what happened to David. It looks like he had some technological glitches. So I'm going to sign off, and if he makes it back to the room, I'll sign back in. But it has been an honor to be here talking to David, and just catching up and talking about choir. So thanks again to everyone for watching.
Am I froze? Hello? Am I still frozen? I do apologize. I haven't moved, so it should be there. Can you see me now? Am I still frozen? Am I still frozen? Give me a yes or no if you can see me. I see. Okay. Apologize for that. We'll see if we can get Jessica back on and finish up. If not, thank you guys so much for watching and viewing today's episode. It looks like, not sure what happened. I just thanked everyone for watching and exited the broadcast. 1 second, you guys. Oh, there she is. 1 sec. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. That was really weird.
I don't know. All of a sudden, there was just this little X instead of like the little lines that showed your, I don't know. All of a sudden, you just had like an X there. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And I was like hanging out by myself. And I was like, I just kind of thanked people for listening.
Technology. I haven't moved. I haven't done anything different. I'm sitting in the same spot I sit. It could be the weather.
When phones had cords and,
Right.
were mounted to the wall. So all of this is pretty spectacular.
Most likely it's the weather. The weather is starting to pick up a little bit outside. So
I don't have a window in my office here at work. So I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, there's big windows. So yeah, I hear it in the background. But you know what? I know that we have been going for about 40 minutes, and I could ask a whole lot of questions, but I think, what do you think is going to happen in this game versus Texas, the Husky game?
I don't know, David.
Give me
I don't know.
Give me your thoughts on the game.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about Texas, right? Like, I know much more about the Pac-12 teams because that's who we played all year. So I don't know. I just know that, like, every single game this year, they managed to pull it out. Like they managed to, and there was a lot of squeakers. Like I wish that they were blowing these teams out of the water. I wish that they were like the powerhouse that comes in and like demolishes people.
Right.
But they're like the slow and steady team that does just enough to get where they need to be. And I'm hoping that continues.
Yeah, the defense, and I'm a, you know me, I'm a big sports guy. But the defense has been really suspect. And like the last game they played really well in the first half, and then they let up. And it was a squeaker again. Hopefully the offense carries us, and Penix scores 4 touchdowns, and it's a 48-21 win for us. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, that's what you're predicting.
I'm
What's
thinking
the
it's gonna be.
line? What are the experts predicting?
Well, they're predict. I think they're predicting us to lose, but
Oh well,
I don't care
you're
what.
clearly wrong.
I think Texas was last I checked was an 8-point favorite.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be a blowout, and that's just me speaking, trying to speak some good juju into the world. But hey, we got to
tell you, if the offense brings their A game and the defense brings their A game, there's nobody they can't beat. I really believe that. It's just a matter of showing up with their A game and holding it for the whole game. You can't have a good quarter. You got to have a whole game.
Absolutely got to. So this is I'm gonna give you one last question, and then you can ask me anything afterwards. I always say, do you have any questions for me at the end of the day?
Yeah.
So give me your thoughts on 2023, and what are you looking forward to moving into 24?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not really the kind of person that sets a lot of goals, which might sound bad, but like I'm kind of a one day at a time person. I just like to try to show up and do my best and move on. And I mean, 2024, I just look forward to seeing my girls still grow. I mean, I love watching them. I love watching them learn. I love watching them become decent little human beings. I don't love watching them fight. And that would probably be my biggest wish for 2024 is that they will stop fighting as well.
Less fighting. Not going to happen. They're going to be fighting for life. That's what kids do. How it is.
Yeah, I know it is. I'm just excited to see what happens. I just think, like you said, things happen at the right time for the right reason. And I believe that God's timing is everything. So absolutely. I think whatever he has for me, I'm super excited to find out because it's always better than anything I could have planned for myself.
Amen to that. Speak on that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, do you have any questions for me?
Well, I'm going to pop that last one back at you. What do you think about 2023 and what are you looking forward to in 2024?
I think 2023 for me has been it's been a challenge mentally because just trying to find my why, because sometimes I know my why. I know exactly why I'm here is to be a vessel and serve as much as I possibly can. That's the reason why we're here. But sometimes I get into these moments where I am in these four walls and not sure how to get out without busting through them. And that's what I'm saying is like some days I am put into a position where I could be a positive role model and continue to push forward and lift the flag as high up as I possibly can, or I could just run through someone. And some days I just want to just run. And I get into these battles, and that's why I do a lot of like praying. I pray a lot. This year it's been a challenge, but at the end of the day, I really wouldn't change anything about this year. I felt pretty good about, the overall goal, and the challenges have made me stronger. And, um, I'm living the way I'm supposed to be living. And if I'm not, I know he's going to tell me exactly
You're
what
going to get that course correction.
he's gonna tell me, hey, fix yourself before you crash and burn. And so,
Yeah.
I just try to rely on my faith and trust that, he's gonna, take care of me at the end of it all. And so, 2023 was what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And when it comes to 2024, I'm just looking to continue to go up. I want to go up, just continue moving up in everything that I do, whether it's, podcasting, helping, the autistic men that I work with, working with my kids, building better relationships with them, just being a better role model in the community, just staying on the right course, even in front of people that may not know me, not trying to, to be someone that I'm not. Just be me and do the best that I can with what I have. My God given.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you know, David being David. So yeah, that's me. That's what.
Awesome.
Does it sound okay? Did I
That
answer?
sounds great.
Did I
Yeah,
answer?
it's a good answer. It kind of, tying it back to choir, it kind of reminds me of how you were shut down to that trip because you didn't see a way forward. You just did not see that $1,600 was going to be there. That was just a
No.
goal that was unreachable and unrealistic. And even though you're feeling now like you don't know how to get out of those walls without busting through them, is that belief that it's going to come, right? That is going to work itself out, and that the answer is just going to be there. And I feel like each and every day you're taking the right steps, right? So you're putting in the work. You just don't, it's like it's foggy and you don't see what's ahead of you. And you just keep walking one foot in front of the other. And then I hope 2024 is the year where the clouds just part for you and you're like, yeah, I did
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Right. So I still remember, like, and the reason, I think the biggest reason why I gave up, because obviously, my mom and dad, they weren't giving me anything because I wasn't really with them. But then also they were talking about, we're going to be doing this huge bake sale. I don't know if you remember the bake sale. They was talking about bake sales.
So many bake sales. Yes.
I'm not going to make $1,600 selling cookies. I was like, I'm not going to do it. I quit.
Yeah.
But that was my mind back then. I just knew it just was not possible for me. And I'm so thankful for not only you, but every single person in that choir class, has had an effect on me, and kept me from the streets, because I definitely had an option to be on those streets. If I didn't go on choir tour, I would have ended up on the streets, no question, because I was hanging around with people on the streets when I wasn't at school. And so I know that's where I would have ended up at. And so I'm so absolutely thankful, so thankful for you and your family. Make sure you tell them I said thank you again. I know I thanked them 100 times, but I'll take.
Well, my parents said to tell you hi. I told them at lunch today, I said, I'm talking with David Hayes. Do you remember him from choir? And they were like, yeah, we totally remember David. So they said to be sure to tell you hi.
Tell them I said hello, and I'm still thanking them till today. I'll never, ever, ever forget it, because, I'll never forget it.
I think there's a pretty important calling on your life, and you were meant to go on that trip for a lot of reasons.
Yeah. Some good, some not so good.
Well, there's all that too.
But we had a wonderful time, and we made memories that will be engraved in our lives forever. For me, I mean, probably the same for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you. I appreciate you
Oh,
for
thank
coming
you,
on
David. What an
and
honor to
making me
talk to you.
cry.
A lot
Oh
of fun.
God, I can't believe that. I've done 100 and I think 52 of these things.
Wow, that's
And
a lot.
yeah, this is the first time I, had a moment. But I mean, this has been something that is like yesterday. I still think about it every single day. I'm actually writing a book too.
Cool.
Just so you know, I'm writing a book about, it's called Stories from the Hill. And obviously this story will be in it and lots of other things that kind of transpired during my time on the hilltop. But I'm like 70% into it. And
That's awesome.
but it's hard. It's hard because you got to relive these moments and
Yeah.
try to do it without breaking down every single time.
Yeah.
But it's a challenge.
Reliving trauma is hard.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really hard.
But made me stronger. All of it, all of it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I love you. I appreciate you.
Oh, David, you too.
And I hope we can do this again. Maybe get together. Go and get something to eat. Have some
Yes,
coffee.
for sure.
You bring the kids. I'll bring the tribe.
Yes, that'd be good. That'd be
It'd be
good.
awesome. Be awesome. So,
Okay.
thanks. Anybody that's watching, just want to thank all you guys for continuing to support Circle Talk. We will be back tomorrow with a good friend of mine named Panarea. She has her own station. She's a singer, and she just released. I think she just released her first Christmas song for this season. I will get you guys all the information. I promise you, it'll be a good conversation again. Great, great friend of mine. So we'll be with her at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Thank you again, Jessica, for coming on and
You're
spending some time.
welcome. My pleasure.
And we will talk real soon, guys. Take care. Bye.